much. Please, you can have your seat. All right, thank you. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's good to be here. Thank you all for coming out. What's the problem? Yeah, it's a very. I hope you're having a nice time. So there were a lot of train disruption, and so don't worry, I'll do that. And I heard a part of the road being blocked, but you made it out here. Can you please just give yourself a round of applause? Thank you. Let me also acknowledge our keynote speaker, Prince Afolabi Andu. Wait. You do it better. In the local language in Nigeria, someone like him, you say he's the Olori Ebi. He's a community leader and elder statesman, Prince Afolabi Andu. Please, a round of applause. Also, please give it up for my beautiful wife, Fumilayo, who just finished her second degree, graduated 2 days ago, in flying colors. I need to read more. Now she's leading. Also, I have one of my mentor, coach, business advisor, and someone you can always talk to, Mr. Nia Adesoya. Can you please give me a round of applause? I don't know, do I have my slides here? So you need to help me. Okay. So they said I'm giving a speech. I'm not. I'm just going to talk for a while and allow you to ask questions. I believe strongly that every Nigerian must have a Nigerian game. You know, you meet a lot of Nigerians in diaspora, and the way they talk down about Nigeria, you begin to wonder. See, you can't change history. You can only change future. You're a Nigerian. There's nothing you can do about it. You can choose to get another passport. That's fine. You can choose to get another passport, marry a British, American, but the history is that, what? So, what's the Nigerian game? No, we talk so much, we talk down about Nigeria. You know, when people talk about Nigeria in diaspora, it's as if once you land at the airport, somebody's going to shoot you. Or from the airport, you're going to be killed. It's not that bad. There are challenges, but trust me, there are a lot of opportunities. You heard about the data of foreign direct investment into Nigeria. The question is, if it's that bad, why are people investing in Nigeria? That's something we should think about. Let it not be like it's a foreigner that will, get the benefit of our country. So I talked about Pastor Nia Adesoya. Coincidentally, I attended this speakers conference, and they taught us something that one of the ways to start a speech is tell a joke, share a story, ask an intriguing question, or, share a fun fact. So I'm going to start with a joke. And you must laugh. And I'm going to show you the joke, actually. Go back. This is my first joke. If you're a Man U fan, just look straight. But if you're a Man U fan, there's somebody else in your WhatsApp group. He's a Barcelona fan. But you know what? The thing about football is, fans are you have to play well. In fact, you have to die on the pitch, or else we are going to boo you. So these days, everybody wants their children to play football because these guys are really, really wealthy. We're taking our children for soccer classes and everything. And that's why today we want to talk about... So I can't stay in front of the screen. Yeah, change it, please. So today I want to talk about creating sustainable wealth through real estate. And my first question to you can change it, is, what is your wealth game? What is your wealth game? Like I tell people that it doesn't matter what your situation is at the moment. It's not, see, I looked at the system here, and it sort of feels like modern slavery to me, where you wake up every day, it's about the next dollar, it's about the next pounds, it's about, In fact, you work so much that it becomes your way of life. Even when you grow old, you still want to work. Even when you're at home, there's nothing to do. You want to go to the garden and just till the garden because the concept of working. So you see people jumping up every day for the next pounds. The question is, when are you going to be free? And that is why this question I'm asking is, what is your world game? Where you are now doesn't matter. It's not a bad thing. But what is super bad is when you don't have a plan. And having a plan is not enough. You also have an action plan. You know, when I speak in Nigeria, talking about real estate, and you want to sell a piece of real estate to people, and you look at the person, maybe in their 50s, they've never owned a piece of real estate before, and you're offering them a property. You say, it's too far. It's too this. I'm like, sir, you are 50. Yes, this thing is too far. You don't have one property yet. Next slide, please. No venture can make you rich except you have a wealth mindset. There's nothing that can make anybody with a poor mindset rich. If you put the money in his hand, he's going to lose it. When he sees an opportunity for wealth, he's going to see a problem. So the first thing, it starts from the mind. What do you see? Do you see the cup half full, or do you see it half empty? And this speaks to perspective about when you're trying to analyze an opportunity, especially thinking about Nigeria. The mindset to create wealth, the mindset to be a wealthy person is the first thing before you can talk about wealth creation. Next slide, please. You know, I came up with some definition about wealth, and I saw a lot, but these ones, I really like them. Number one says, the real measure of your wealth is how much you would worth if you lose all your money. And another one says, wealth is the ability to fully experience life. The third one, it is not how much money you make, but how much money you keep, how hard it works for you, and how many generations you keep it for. I don't want to pray myself. Let's go, because I really want to. So, now we're talking about wealth. Is real estate the only venture to create wealth? One of the definitions says that wealth is what you're worth if you lose all your money. So something seems to feel like it's not really about liquid cash, really. It's about something way more than that. So is real estate the only venture that can create wealth? But I'll say now, I'll admit to you that no, there are other ways to create wealth. But one unique thing about real estate is that real estate is the only venture. Move it, please. It's the only way. The uniqueness of real estate is that it is the only venture that creates wealth, preserves wealth, transforms wealth, and transfers wealth. Meaning you can have a piece of real estate and it can go to 4 generations. Your stock, your shares in those companies cannot. Maybe the company would have even gone bankrupt before your kids become adult or something. And you know another unique thing about real estate? You own the shares in one company, it doesn't affect the share of another company. But the piece of real estate there can affect the value of the next one to it. So the uniqueness of real estate is that it doesn't just only create wealth, it preserves wealth, it transforms it, and you can also transfer it. No other venture can do that for you. And if you take a global perspective to expanding your investment portfolio, because we're talking about creating sustainable wealth through real estate. And I want to talk about real estate opportunities in Nigeria. There's the best way to stay wealthy, or the truest way to stay wealthy, is to earn from the diaspora. I know in Nigeria it sounds interesting to earn from, but also, yeah, I've seen it, that one of the ways to beat the system, when I say beat the system, I'm not saying evade tax, or I'm talking about hedge the system, is to earn outside the system. So when it comes to investing, you have to think global. There are opportunities around you all well and good, but you can't remain. You have to think global. You have to think about what are the other opportunities that are outside the system. And today I want to talk about opportunities available to you in Nigeria. Go back, please. Taking a global perspective when it comes to investing can provide access to unique opportunities and diversifies one's portfolio. A diversified investment portfolio that includes Nigerian real estate can provide unique value and potential for strong returns. There's something I tell people when they want to buy properties and you say that the road is bad. I say, buy it. That's why you should even buy that property. You say, oh, the place is not very developed. That's why you should buy. Let me quickly talk about, when it comes to buying real estate, you must understand the concept of, let me not do that. You must understand the concept of what they call categorization. This is all. Have we finished our time? In Nigeria, that's how they tell you that your time is up. It's not turning off the sound system. Nigeria is a very unique country. Then the light will start going on one after the other. And if you still don't get it, they will not come and I got you. I don't know. Okay, let me wait for the mic because of the recording.
Tell us a joke now. Or that joke.
Okay, I was talking about when buying a piece of real estate, you must understand what they call location categorization and why you want to buy the property and where you should actually buy. There are three ecosystems when it comes to categorizing locations. You have the mature ecosystem where everything that can happen has happened, fully developed, everything is in place. If I want to use an example around you that you can understand, I'll say maybe a Canary Wharf or maybe a London Central. It would take a lot of innovation to bring in a new development in that place that will affect the value of appreciation of properties. So in those kind of places, capital appreciation is not very high, but rental income is very high. So if you're looking to buy a property for rental income, you want to look at mature ecosystem. It's going to be expensive, but you get good rental income. If you use your property for commercial purposes, you will get good returns. But then there's what we call a growing ecosystem. A growing ecosystem is a place where you get maximum appreciation, capital appreciation. Because in those places, everything is not in place. Most places are not fully developed. You still have few plots of land. In Nigeria, you have bad roads. Maybe light is not even there yet, but people are living there. Or maybe they tell you that ShopRite is coming here next year. That is a growing. Those are drivers telling you that I am going to experience a rapid capital appreciation. I bought a property in 2020 for less than 100 million. And today, Naira, please. And today, the property is worth 200 million Naira in less than 2 years. What happened? They tied the road. That's all. But a lot of people didn't buy because they said the road was bad. And during rainy season, if you're not driving, you probably have to roll your. But those things in a growing ecosystem. So if you're looking for capital appreciation in property, you want to flip it, you should be targeting a growing ecosystem where everything is not in place, where people are somehow running away from high rent and running to those places. You should be targeting those places. But there's this third one that we call a prospective ecosystem. Nothing is in place. It's only promise. It's only promise. It's just thick bush. You just say, government will do one road. It's in the master plan. That's the only thing you have that is in the master plan. When they will do it, you don't know. In those kind of places, always put a seed. Always put a seed. And I advise put plenty seeds, put like 10 seeds, maybe, because not all will work. By the time they do that road coming, you might come on your own land and your land will go. But the few that remain, you'll make massive, massive return. You know, I was in Doha a couple of weeks ago last week in a Pasoni's event, and I'll call them my junior in the industry, I can say that. So they were telling me about Ekpe, like, I said, come on, we sold Ekpe 8 years ago. You guys are latecomers. We sold Ekpe when we were selling 150,000 naira per plot. Then we're telling them everything that's going to happen. Now it's happening. Now the market is in the secondary phase. It's not in the primary phase again. Because some of those things we're selling with, they are bringing airports. Oh, there will be a coastal road. Oh, there will be a Fort Mainland Bridge. All those things today are becoming reality. And Ekpe is gradually going away from what you call a prospective ecosystem. It's now going to a growing ecosystem. So you must understand this thing. It's not part of my slide, but I just thought to put it in because sometimes when you look down on Nigeria, you are looking down on a growing ecosystem. And that's why when they show you return on investment in Nigeria, you doubt it. Say, is it magic? Is it possible? Because there's a lot of infrastructural deficit. There are a lot of developmental deficit. We don't have train. The one we have is Tata Kuku. Sorry. We don't have it yet. Sorry, pardon my vernacular. What we have here is not your typical kind of, you just hop on train. In Nigeria, people like you don't go on train. So it's still at that level. But is it going to happen? Yes. When? It might take a while. Maybe we don't know. But it's going to happen. And that is why you need to invest in those kind of economy because you are guaranteed massive return on investment. Next slide, please. And for many diasporans, owning property in Nigeria is not just a financial investment. It's a way to stay connected to their roots and build a legacy for the future generation. Out of every 10 Nigerian diaspora, there are 6 people that are still has Nigerian problem. See, when you leave, the people there don't leave you, you know. In fact, they still hold you. That's why you still have to change pounds to naira. There are still people that you are tied to. You can't completely cut it. Maybe your parents are not there, your children are not there. There's still somebody. Maybe your friend from school will still call you one day. Say, don't forget me here. So that is why you must think about investment. Why should you change your hard-earned pounds to be solving Nigerian problem? I think it's an insult comparing pounds to naira. So you should create a source of generating naira to solve your naira problems. At Rolad, we understand the importance of, just take it back. Importance of investing, and today I'm going to introduce you to, So let's go. So the question is, why should you invest in Nigeria? He one time said that Nigeria is, go back. That Nigeria is one of the most dangerous places to live. Yeah, even our president at one time said it's a failed state. And there's one man that's on his way, is in court now. He said Nigeria is a shithole. Yes, and during the election, you could hear a lot of things. Oh, Nigeria is... Yes, but there are other reasons you should go. Here's the balance. You say, why not? But we want to show you this data. Appreciation of real estate in Nigeria, 10% annually. Population growth. You know why Nigeria is so important to the world? It's because of the population. There's no business it's about numbers, really. There's no services you are rendering. If you don't have the numbers, you won't have the profit. So Nigeria is a strategic place for the world because of the population projection, which is to hit about 221 million by 2050. These people, are they going to sleep on the road? No. Housing deficit, crazy. In fact, this figure, I don't agree with it. Because we are only talking about people who don't have roof over their head. Half of the people that have roof over their head, it's not a house. Yes. There was time we lost a client and we went for condolence visit, and I led the team there. Spent 10 minutes there. I came out of that place. I was almost gasping for breath. How do people live in these kind of places? Here you have, regulations that check what must be in a house before. Let me not complete it. The economic growth, the youthful population. Nigeria has a vibrant young people. Yeah, woke people. And what that means is that the energy is very high. Efficiency is on the rise. So that's why Nigeria is, and look at the foreign direct investment. Crazy stuff. And these are the reasons why you must invest in this space. I dare say that you're safe. You have found yourself in heaven where nothing can touch you, right? And you're living well. But you need to make more money. See, there's something that's making money. All of us have managed to master the art of making money. But not a lot of people don't know how to grow money. Because we rather work harder, get another high-paying job, get a raise, take another job or 3, 4 jobs. It all speaks to making money. That's not growing money. If you remain at the realm of just making money, it means that you'll be using just your personal energy. And, of course, you know what happens? You get tired at some point because you can't do it for life that way. So you have to switch from not just making money to growing money. And as you're feeling comfortable in your safe haven, you have to think of where can I plug my money? Where will it work for me? And where will I get the maximum return? Move, please. Yes, so these are the offers. I think we are in a very unique position where we have a stronger currency, which gives the opportunity to play in another economy and get maximum return. See, if you throw your money in Nigeria, if you hold, like I tell Nigerians, that holding money in foreign currency is an investment on its own. Just holding money in foreign currency, that tells you how strong your currency is. So meaning that if you take that to the Nigerian market, you will cover a lot of ground and your return will be massive. The offers we have for you today is, next slide. There are 2 projects I want to talk about. The first farm thing called in Abidjan GRA. This particular project, of course, documentation, everything is clear, COO is in place, is within the GRA, and we have smart homes of 3-bedroom duplexes, 4-bedroom duplexes, 2-bedroom flat. But the uniqueness about this project is that it is seated at the center of everything new in Lagos. It's just about 5 minutes drive from Ajah Bridge itself. If you're familiar, you can Google these places. But this particular location is about 25 minutes drive from the new airport. It's 2 minutes drive to Lekki Ekpe Expressway. I know people in diaspora, you might not know anywhere in Nigeria, but you know Lekki Ekpe Expressway. In fact, to people in Nigeria, everything is just Lekki. After Lekki is what? So, you know Lekki Ekpe Expressway. And it is 5 minutes drive from the beach. So you are in the middle of commerce and you're in the middle of nature. You wake up, you don't really want to walk out in your house. You want to walk out by the beach where you get to feel the nature, Yes, it works that way. You are in the middle of, you have a property that connects you to all those things. And these projects are not, move slide please, they are not a dream. They've gone beyond the realm of, move again, gone to the realm of reality where construction is ongoing. And rental income in these places is growing at a very astronomical rate. Yes, you want to compare rental income to this place, but here's the thing. You are trying to build a cash flow in a Nigerian market that is sufficient enough to handle all your Nigerian financial challenges. So that solves it for you, while your capital is still retained in the asset itself. So these are, and the appreciation value in these places, because you talk about the airport coming, and there's a train line coming from Marina that goes straight to the airport. There's a coastal road, there's a Fort Milan Bridge. These are all massive development that will guarantee fast capital appreciation if you choose to invest in this property. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is some of the finished apartment, what the interior looks like. Move on, please. And we don't compromise on quality. Some of the clients that we've handed over the key to came and were like, This is, you people did yourself. And even me, I went there, I think I was there last week to see the finishing and all. I was like, this is too much. We should reduce the rooms. It was too big. I know, you people in the UK will be jealous when you hear about big rooms. You are not used to that. I understand. I still struggle with it. I don't know why the rooms are so small. Yeah? Why are they so small? In Nigeria, it's always big. We live like kings. So, spacious room, and we are not stingy with we are not stingy with bathrooms. All the rooms are in suites. You see 4-bedroom house here, 1 bathroom. I was like, do you want us to queue every morning? So we're not stingy. It's all fitted and everything. But here is another project. And this project, I'm quite sentimental about it. You know why? Because at the heart of this project is impact. It's how do we change the narrative of how the middle class and the lower class live? Just like you're here, you feel you're safe, and a whole lot going on in Nigeria. In Lekki too is like UK, then mainland Nigeria. and it becomes like an aspirational living to move to Lekki. Like it becomes a testimony if you manage to move to Lekki. Yes, I'm very sure if you Google online, there'll be an article on that. It's a testimony. Let me quickly tell you my own testimony too. When I was about to get married, and you might not relate to it, but I'll try to make it relatable. And I asked my wife that, where do you want us to live? And she said, Magodo. Magodo is one of the toughest places on the mainland. And of course, I was earning, and I was earning 38,000 naira. That should be about 30 pounds, right? Per month, or not per week. That was my salary, 38, like 8 days more than the number of the months. And he said we should get an apartment in Magodo. I was like, did your dad live in a house in Magodo? Or is there something I don't know that you're telling me? And we thought about it, of course. Then I got a place in Magboro. You will not know Magboro. But you see that it's similar. Yes, it's prophetic. So then Magboro is like, you are going to Redeem Camp. You should know Redeem Camp. Like, you're going to Redeem Camp. I remember when I took her there for the first time, she was like, are we traveling out of Lagos? And we got there, and I told her, I promise you, let's start our life here. I promise you, we will not go further down. We will now be going back to the city. Then we moved from there, we moved to where we call Rekpo, we moved to K2. Then we ended in Magodo. But that's not the testimony. The testimony is that we now moved to Lekki. That's a good place to come. So I've just shared my own Lekki testimony to you. But that's exactly what it is like in Nigeria. Going to Lekki is like an aspirational living. But for me, is how do we change the narrative of how the lower class and the middle class live? Are we saying that until you live in Lekki, you can't live well? So this project was specifically designed to take care of that. So how do we bring comfort, serenity to a place where people think that it's not possible? And how also can we make it affordable? In Nigeria, mortgage penetration is less than 5%, meaning that people can buy houses cash down. And home ownership is less than 20%. So it's crazy. How do you make this thing affordable for these people? So we brought this project called Iderade. Iderade is arguably the largest and the biggest housing development in southwest Nigeria. It's a good place to clap. It's a 1,000-unit housing project designed to be delivered over 5 years. And we have started the pilot phase of the project, which is to deliver 151 units this year. That is ongoing. And the uniqueness of this project, when I say it's about impact, how people live, the environment, the economy around that place, and the environmental impact. Another important thing that we brought into this project is that there's this funny thing in Nigeria where you wake up in the morning around 6 a.m. We have to go out early in Nigeria because there's traffic. So around 6 a.m., you are trying to get out. It's still very dark. and you see some children also in traffic going to school. And kids, I'm like, where are they going to? And the funny part is that it is even the affluent people that do these things in the name of my kids are going to the best school. So it's like the best school isn't around, so they have to take them far. So we looked at this project that how can we correct something like this in this project where the people that live in this community do not have to travel very far to go to school. So we decided that we're going to have a school in this estate, but we're not going to make it a typical one where we just build and run ourselves. We decided to partner with reputable schools who you and I will know. So you know that the quality of education being given to them is well delivered. And as a matter of fact, we are even now partnering with a known school in the UK. They have they have 18 schools in the UK. And I can't reveal the name because we're not done with the paperwork. But it's almost done. We're partnering with them. We're putting the real estate in place. They are bringing international standard of running education into that school. In the art of Mowe, not Lekki, in the art of Mowe. The school will serve the occupant of the estate and will also serve the people in the environment. We're doing the same thing with the hospital. We're partnering. We'll just build the real estate. We're going to partner with reputable hospitals who will come and run the services. Because we are trying to put a community that is self-sufficient, where everything you need is in the estate. And there's going to be nature. You can move the slide. We're building apartment types are 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom bungalows, going for around £20,000. I know someone can just pay for this thing right now because you are asking, is it equity? It's not equity. That's whole. That's whole. So you see, and this particular project, upon delivery, when the infrastructure is in place, is guaranteed to have over 120% value in appreciation. So if you're thinking of buying and hold, this is a very fantastic project. Sometimes when we talk about real estate acquisition, we always think about ownership. You can't live in 5 houses at the same time. You just live in one. So you can only own one per time. But there are a lot of opportunities when it comes to trading, making money. That's why you don't look at a place and say, I can't live in this place. It doesn't matter. But are the numbers good? Am I going to make a good return? Those are the things you should look out for. Move on, please. Okay. So construction is ongoing. Move on. In this place, we have some basic infrastructure in place. Drainages have been fixed. All fenced, round gated community, and the construction is ongoing. Our value offering for you today is, on these two projects, is the first project is about £58,000. The duplex in Lekki, Abijo GRA is £58,000. But we have 3 offerings for the people in this place today. And the first one is to own a piece of this property and enjoy 10% discount. And the second is to participate in direct investment in the development of the Mowe project. And you're going to be earning 22%. And the third one is to leverage our buyback scheme, where you can buy one of these units today, and in 18 months, we'll flip it for you at 40% return. So it's not enough to make this money and just warehouse it. You have to think of how to grow it. And a real estate scheme is one of the ways to do it. The way this works is that you own the house. It's not like you own the house. It just comes with a clause that in 18 months, we are duty-bound to flip it for you. So it's like an end-to-end solution. You don't have to worry about how do I sell it if I buy it. Everything is already capped in this place. These figures are way lower than this, but it has been specifically designed for the people at this summit. So some of your objection could be security situation in Nigeria, the real estate investment risk and concern. I'm not familiar with Rolad company. You see, this is not a Nigerian company just talking to you. This is a company registered in Nigeria, registered in the United Kingdom. And I used to joke with people that you can drag us in Nigeria, you can drag us in, but we are not going to drag each other. But we are as close to you as we have an office here in London. We have reps here, and we're even thinking very soon to have a presence in Manchester. So these are companies, this is a company you can have. We were grounded here, in summary, let me put it out. We were grounded here, also grounded in Nigeria. So that's just to give you a bit of comfort. One of the times you worry about, Nigerian people, you don't know what to do. We are here with you, and you can be rest assured. And you're skeptical about potential ROI. See, the way the ROI thing works is that we deploy these funds to developing these properties, and we already have 1,000 realtors who are ready and eager and itchy to sell. So we have like an end-to-end solution in place where, as we're building, we also have the sales machine to turn this thing around within the specified time, and we all make, so it becomes like a win-win situation. Thank you very much. So I'll take a few questions right now on some of the offers, questions. Yeah.
I'll pass the mic around. Before that, can you give
Thank you.
I thought that was very brilliant. Yeah? I'm very persuasive at that. So that we have that conversation with our children and say that, Mommy, you were at that conference. That will not be your story. All right, so have you got a question, please? I'll pass the mic to you.
You can invite Mr. Victor too.
Okay, Mr. Victor is handling the session now, right? Mr. Victor Aaron. A round of applause for Mr. Victor, please. Let me get the chairs ready.
Thank you. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Oh, we need to. Okay, so you shouldn't be hiding behind the thing then.
But I think if you've got questions,
Take it.
presentation first. We'll handle those before the next session.
The projector will have to go off.
I think it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
No, so that the light is not on his face. Right?
No, it's fine. I'm staying off it already.
Okay, brilliant.
And it's off it as well. Okay. So before I move on with this, is there anyone with any other question?
Yes.
I've got quite a number of questions for Dotun actually, because he sounded very smart and it looked all very juicy, like there are no issues. I just bring your money, invest, and then everything is. So I have some very probing questions for him, but then we can take others.
I saw some people's face. They're like, ask him. It's too sweet. Ask him. Do ask him.
All right, so let me just pass for two people first, and then. Thank you.
So that you can just throw that up. Have you got a question, please? Brilliant. So we'll start with the man on my right. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Fashito from Manchester, and I've known Mr. Oloyede for some time. I almost forgot his name because I always call him chairman. So, but my question is very, very simple. I took a gamble, going to this because I was really, really discouraged by people that don't go there. But I say I've done quite a few things in Nigeria which have really, really gone south. But I said, well, if you just have to keep trying. You never know where it's going to really work out. But my question is this. Let me cut out the fluffs. Chairman, you talked about housing a lot, but you were a bit short on land opportunities. And I know a lot of people want to buy land and build their own whatever. And I know you do also, offer service plots and things like that. But can you give us a bit of ideas on that so that we could know where the lands are available, what are they going for?
Okay.
Especially those that have a growth prospect.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Do you want me to proceed on that?
Yes, you should. Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Bayo. So we have land opportunities. In the brochure, we did highlight some of the opportunities you can tap into when it comes to land. Of course, another way to also keep money is to land bank it. Just buy land, hold it. Someone once told me that the target must be to own a land everywhere your feet touches all over the world. So there are land opportunities. Iderade, to be precise, it is zoned in a way that there is a path for those who choose to buy land and keep it, or buy land and build what they want to build on it. Maybe we are building bungalows, for example. You might want to go very big and large. We already anticipated that. So we created a zone in the estate where you can buy land and go ahead and build your own choice of apartment. So which is something you might want to consider. And another thing that comes with the land opportunity is that there's a client that bought about 1 acre of land in this estate. And his own goal is, I'll buy it. When you finish building, then I'll sell it. He's not going to build on that land. But he knows that by the time all the buildings come up, the value of his own land would have gone up. So, and it's a smart decision for him that, I don't want to buy the house. It's the land. It's the land I want to buy. So to simply answer your question, there are land opportunities on a large scale. In fact, everybody I see, I always beg them, buy land in Ekpe. I just beg them. I say, if like, don't buy from me. But buy from me because I'm the one telling you now. So that you don't go and enter one chance. So buy from me. So buy land in Ekpe because it's a no-brainer. You don't even need anybody to sweet talk you about the potential and what are the going rates in this place. About 5,000 pounds, 6,000 pounds. You already have a piece of land in those places. Just buy it, leave it there. Leave it there. When you hear people talk about this built-up area and tell you how much they bought those land many years ago, you begin to look at them like, wow. To tell you that when they bought this place, there was nothing. That's the power of real estate. So these are the places where you just cast a seed and just let it be, let it breathe, and you're sure. So there are massive land opportunities. In Abuja also, we have in Abuja, in Lugbe, to be precise, we have very dry, with the hilly field. Yeah. The topography is so beautiful. So I want to also spread to that place. And see, Nigeria is not going to disintegrate anytime soon. Before the election.
Anytime soon, or not at all?
Not at all. Before the election, you hear people say, I'm not going to Abuja because they don't know this. Yeah. But the people who buy during those times buy at cheaper prices. When you wait for everything to be in place, you will pay a higher price. You pay at a premium.
Let me add to that, Dotun. When you talk because of a person, everything sounds very okay. Even this last explanation, it sounded like, don't worry, everything is fine. But then I want to ask, for those of us who live in the UK, we like security a lot to be sure that everything is well positioned. Are you sure that, especially when you're dealing with black people, when you're dealing with people back in Africa, you're sometimes skeptical about being defrauded and the likes of it because of the news around? So are there things that you have put in place beyond your name, beyond your organization, about some of these properties that you can articulate, that you can say to us, and we can believe in to say that, yes, Iderade is secured in this way and manner, beyond just cast the seed? I know you've used the word cast the seed a lot.
Thank you. So security is in 2 stages. The security of the people and the security of the investment itself. And for the security of the investment, there are basic things that has to be in place. Regulation, the title of the document. That's the starting point. When it is wrong, when that basis is wrong, then the investment itself becomes from potential risk to definitely risky. So for us, the title on the land is the premium title, certificate of occupancy, approved layout, registered survey. So in terms of regulation and documentation, check. So that secures the land itself and everything. Then when we talk about the security of the people, what we put in place in 2 phases is to immediately secure the land itself by way of perimeter fencing around and gating it. So it's a place where you meet security all the time. Access is not thorough. You need access to get in. So we put that in place. And by the time the place become fully functional, we're going to engage security services to who ensure that security is a big thing in Nigeria.
Yeah,
So
it is.
it has to be something we can control, because we cannot control what the powers that be can do for you. So in Nigeria, we control that. So it's part of the service charge. And you don't pay for security. In Nigeria, we pay for security. So things like that.
Where we pay for security here? Your council taxes, right?
Well, you understand what I'm saying. It's not like it's not like sometimes you probably forget to lock the back door for days.
Yeah, really.
But in Nigeria, even in your office, something's wrong. What's happening? I'm feeling somehow. When you now get home, you realize I didn't lock that. I say, yeah, that's what I'm feeling like that. So we are engaging security outfit to ensure that everything is in place, and so that's what we're doing in terms of security.
Good.
We ensure that the title of the land. So there's nothing like government exuberance or losing the land anyway. We have done all that.
Let me add to that part that has to do with security of the land. So you've told us quite all right, we believe you, CFO and the title deeds and all of that. For someone who live abroad here in the UK, is there that way of them verifying? Is it possible for them to verify?
Yeah.
Would you want your organization to take that burden of helping them verify, probably at a fee or something?
No. So the thing is that there's a part of verification. We can share our own verification report with you. But your own, if you want to do a personal verification, it's just to share those copies of those documents with you, and you can run them by your lawyer or run it by the land registry. So it's a very simple, straightforward process. It's not even something we'll say we want to charge you a fee for. It's really very straightforward. We have done our own verification. We can share our own verification report with you. But you can also request for copies of the title document, and you want to go and do your own verification.
Fantastic.
Because the highest form of assurance is self-verification. So
Actually.
other than that, our own verification report should suffice. But if you feel the need to,
re-verify.
so you have to do that yourself.
Great. On the one I know the noise around. If you have not lived in Lagos before, probably even people who live outside of Lagos. I've lived in Lagos for so many years. Probably for those who live outside of Lagos, the first thing you want to, where's Lekki? In fact, for those who live outside of Lagos, if you are not talking about Victoria Island, you're not talking about the highland, really. So we used to say in our own small circle back in Nigeria that there are just two divides. It's either you're on the mainland or you're on the highland, or across the bridge. Yeah, when you live across the bridge, you're rated as la creme de la creme.
Premium.
Yes, the people over there. So my question is, for the guy in Abidjo GRA, is there some sort of, so £58,000, is there some sort of a way for us? We like to pay bit by bit here. Virtually everything here has to do with you want to mortgage, direct debits. You probably even your cars. I'm finding it difficult. I just moved into the UK less than a year ago. I'm finding it difficult to live my life like that. I've always lived on cash, buy my car full-fledged.
Yeah,
so I don't know. Have you got, now that your organization is registered in the UK, have you got something like that we could leverage on?
Yes. So there's a 1 year to 18 months payment plan. So it's not a 30 years mortgage. So, but again, if you compare these numbers to what it is, you realize that you probably don't need that long stretch to do that. And you also want to also close your transaction very fast and take ownership, and you can begin to maximize the investment. So we have that flexible payment plan. The word flexible is somehow relative now, but we call it a flexible payment plan, where we allow you pay the money in phases. There's an initial deposit, and there's, you pay like that, and that's how it works. And one thing about that, Abidjo, you didn't mention, because of why a lot of people talk about Lekki, the place is now becoming very, if you do rental income, you have a basic earning per year. But if you choose to use your apartment for rent-to-rent and use for short-let, Airbnb, you will make a lot of money. What you're supposed to be making in a year is what you'll be making in a month, which, we're making around £3,000. Yes, thereabout. Yeah. Because if you use the projection of 100,000 naira per day, it's just about £3,000 per month.
That's a great business idea you're putting to the table for people already. Yeah. So you buy it, you probably start earning from it, and then
another thing, you're not here, we can manage for you. So it's really an end-to-end solution that we are offering to you.
So I am thinking, that's a good place to clap, actually. Yeah. So now you just dropped that you could manage for people who are not here. So does that come as an additional service or something that you could speak for by the side?
No, it's an additional service. There's a management fee, but because it's using for a business, it's
Yeah.
transferable to the end user, where you might not even get to pay the management fee. So there's a fee we charge for.
Fantastic.
For that, on the earnings per month.
I'm beginning to think of Rolad bigger than what I used to know Rolad to be right now.
Yeah,
with some
we
of the
are.
things you're saying.
We are bigger.
That's a good one anyway. So I would rather say that for those of us who live here in the UK, I honestly think that with the pictures you've shown us, it shows that Abijo GRA is very ripe for someone to plug into right away and just begin to make the money.
And sorry, we're glossing over the word GRA. What GRA means is that basic infrastructure was done by government.
Yeah.
Roads,
Roads.
drainage, light, in place in advance, even before we started building in those places. So when a property is within GRA, infrastructure is sorted by
sorted.
government. So you are buying into a well-developed community.
I was going to say that some of the ROIs that you called earlier on while you were speaking, for those of us who live in the UK, they sounded very outrageous, right? Am I speaking your mind? For someone to say, give me some amount on 22% in a year, we don't get that around here at all. I'm not sure anything will give you that around here in the UK. So I am thinking, how realistic are these figures that you have called? And then at some point, I like to read fine lines. The fine lines to fine print, right? Are there some fine prints that we should? I know you might not tell us, but then because they are called fine prints anyway. But then I'm just curious to know that I could give you, say, a £30,000, and then at the end of the year, I'm getting a 22% return on investment. How realistic is that? Is it the Nigerian economy that made that possible for you?
That's a very interesting question. You see, it's a simple economics. When you play in an economy where demand is way more than supply, then prices is always high.
Yeah.
So that's why the margin is realistic, because we can't even supply what is being demanded. We can only just do the bit we can do.
Yeah.
So the margin in a developing economy, in an emerging market, is always very high compared to a structured market. You were saying that it's very difficult to find. Yes, because what's their own margin too, really, for them to be able to offer you? So because they are operating in a structured where everything is end-to-end. So the margin are lower. The margin are higher in Nigeria because the demand is there and the supply is low.
Great.
So that's what's guaranteed.
That's
that
return.
margin, that return, yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
And it's an opportunity. The more the place develop, the more the margin will begin to go down. So it's a fantastic opportunity
so I
to
think
be a part of it now.
So that means that now is the time.
Now is the time.
Because as soon as you talked about something like some sort of emerging markets.
Yeah.
So the moment that categorization moves from where it used to be to where maybe halfway gone.
There's even something interesting we do with that direct investment where you earn 22%.
Yeah.
That your 22% can be converted into monthly cash flow for you, where all those plenty direct debits that will enter your account and maybe money is not enough.
Yeah.
You can invest some money, and every month, so we take your return, we divide it by 12.
Okay.
So every month you get a credit alert, which be like a cash flow for you, and solves your day-to-day. So you probably don't even have to wait till. We have people who say, at the end of the year, I want to take everything. Some people say, no, get me monthly inflow. Because it's about how do I get more money. So the way to get more money in a month is not to spend the one you have 100%.
Yeah.
It's about to find a way to use the one you have to get more.
I think you're solving a problem for us here. We're used to direct debit here. But then here, you're giving us credit.
I don't even do it. I can't keep up with it because not that I can't keep up, but it's strange, really. It's just very strange. Something sucking my account every month.
For those of us who are Africans, I think it's so strange that money keeps leaving me all the time, and I'm just waiting for 130 days to make a pay before I'm able to.
No, we will rip the band-aid once. We buy cash and go.
And go, walk away. Walk away. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to ask you this.
Any what's that question?
Okay, great. Just a minute. I'm going to ask you this. Pretty much a personal question. I do technology. I know I've consulted for your organization before. I've seen some measure of sophistication with you and the way you run the organization, which makes me really personally believe in virtually everything that you have talked about. But then I want to ask you, while I assure the people here today that they are rest assured that they are working with an organization that is structured, because really, those who have been scammed before, probably most of us didn't check the organization, and the acumen of the people running the organization, we probably didn't check them very well. But then I want to ask you, how did you come about this? And I consult for quite a number of people in your industry as well back in Nigeria, but then I have seen that there's a difference to Rolad Properties, there's a difference to Dotun, there's a difference to even some of the pictures that you have shown us. How did you come up to this level?
You know, I was reading a book by Matthew Ashimolo, and the title of the book is What's Wrong with Being Black?
Oh, yeah.
And he said something in that book that when a pound entered the Asian community, it will go through at least 7 Asian hands before it leaves that community. But when a pound enters a black man's hand,
Oh, my.
straight out, which he was trying to allude to the fundamental difference between how black people do things versus how these other guys do their thing. And one thing that is lacking is always this collaborative, power leveraging, collaboration, togetherness, cooperation. It is sort of lacking in the black community. A black person, let me not get into race conversation, but we are fundamentally very, defensive against ourselves rather than see what can we do too. So together. I am very big on collaboration.
Great.
And over time, we have collaborated with reputable people. We see our clients as collaborators. Some of the offers we are offering, other people don't do it. Because I believe in a win-win situation. You say when you want to go fast, you should go alone. But if you want to go far, go with someone. So the power of collaboration is part of what has helped us from the foundation and also sticking and keeping our words. There's something I see everywhere I find myself, that nobody on the face of the earth will lose 1 naira or £1 because of me.
Interesting. That's a word on the marble.
It's a personal decision, commitment that, you see, the biggest thing I think I have is my name. And for me, I would rather find other ways to make sure that I bear the ground rather than let the customer or the client bear that. So it's part of what has kept us going because these are clients. In fact, I tell people that I probably should be richer than this if I was.
Yeah.
But we've had to say no to crazy amount of money before because we don't want to compromise on our values. And our values, integrity, keeping our words, and power of collaboration. There's this saying that I like so much that when the going gets tough, the tough what?
Gets going.
No, the tough must see collaboration.
Interesting. That's a good one. Must seek collaboration. Yeah. So these are potential collaborators here. Yeah. Potential collaborators here. Are we ready to really collaborate with Dotun? Yes. Are we really ready to collaborate with Dotun? Okay, so I'm just going to take that one question in the audience and then I can wrap them. Oh, quite a number. Woo. Yeah, you've been asking all the questions. Okay, I thought I asked all your questions actually, but then it's fine.
I'll pass the mic over.
Thank you. Let me take the 2 questions so I can just.
Okay, so who's the first person? All right.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Brilliant presentation, I must say. So my question is this. Apart from the quoted payment fees and everything here, is there any other hidden charges for the documentation and all of that that's not quoted here?
So part of the offer for the people in this room is that the fee there is all inclusive. Ordinarily, we have infrastructure, some other fees, but for the people in this room, it has been waived. So the fee you have there is all inclusive, but it's also time bound, so you want to add fast.
All right, next question, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Biolufeko. I have two questions. One is a rider to what you were saying the other time about being certain of the ROI. You mentioned the other time about the 40% buyback option. Is it an automatic one, or is something that you need to click into when you're buying now? Such that, oh, if somebody then says, oh, 18 months down the line, listen, good opportunity, let me just take my 40% and move. Then you say, oh, listen, you didn't come up with it. And then, as much as I like your proposition the other time that you're going to bend your back to pay it, it doesn't seem like a very good stand for me. If I come into business and I look at it that, okay, did that just because you wanted to save your name, then I'd see that it is not a good opportunity. It's just because you wanted to save your name. So how do you regulate that? I'm sure a lot of people here will think, I'm still new here, so I wouldn't think like that. But a lot of people here will think FCA regulation. Is your company FCA regulated to ascertain me that, okay, I am of this my money? So the second question is, you were talking about all of these lands. How can you assure us that there are no encumbrances and there are no government cuts? The new roads, you mentioned the coastal roads now. You're sure, somebody told me, well, you can confirm now that a lot of houses on Lekki Road are going to be, they're going to go because of the new coastal roads that are coming. So a lot of people are going to lose their houses. How can we get a guarantee for this? Okay. Recently, I was trying to get a clearance for my parents' house, one house somewhere in Agege, and I found out that the survey plan, I went to the survey office and they said, listen, what you have on your survey plan that the government issued many years ago, they were saying it's not correct. Yeah. That the road has taken a bit of it, so we have to redo the survey plan. Yeah. So do your documentation come with survey plan that can be verifiable in the government?
You've asked a lot of technical questions, but let me get at it one after the other. On that survey thing that you stopped, you ended with. So about 3 years ago, there was something they call rebasing. Lagos State did a, so how do I break this down? So it was like they tilted the survey of the state. So, and that affected every survey, but you would not know because you didn't go back to do anything. So if you went back, you find out, and they will ask you to rectify that survey. So you probably do another one that will reflect that adjustment. So that was what happened to that particular situation you talked about. And you talked about coastal road eating people's land. So here's one thing. I said about security of investment, having your titles and having your approvals. When you have these things in place and there's an overriding public interest, the government pays you. So if there's any road in that Lekki corridor, part of the budget for that project, it has been included compensation for people. But if you don't have a title and approval for your property, it's gone because you're an illegal person there to start with. So one of the ways to, there will always be once a while overriding public interest, but you'll be compensated for that. So for us, we are making sure the basics is in place, the title, the approvals, so we'll check. When there's an overriding public interest, it's beyond me and you. Nigeria it's a country where development precedes infrastructure, and it's supposed to be the other way around. So that's why things like that come up from time to time. But there's something we do. When we have a property on a major express, we give massive setback, and we don't sell the front plot to clients. So we own that. If anything chooses to happen, it's part of me saying that I will not lose your money. So that thing you said about when I said, what I'm trying to say is that I will not lose you your money. Because we make sure our basics are correct. We make sure that our standards are right. We operate within the confines of the law. And we do everything within our power to make sure that nothing happens. And should anything happen, I am a person that wants to go out of my way to make sure that I make it right. So that's just me. It doesn't mean that we get it wrong. We don't get it wrong. But it's just a level of assurance to know that you are dealing with people who will not toil with your money.
A round of applause, man. So first of all, that's a great question. And I'm sure that question is in the heart of a lot of people within this room and outside this room. So our media team, if you can chop this conversation now and blast it on all social media platforms, it will convert to sales, I'm telling you. This is a powerful moment that we just had here right now. We need to chop this up now, put it up on TikTok everywhere to convert to sales. I'm telling you. You think it's sorry, seriously. It's serious. Thank you. Any other question, please?
All right, so we have a couple of our rep from the company at the back.
Yeah.
You want to take conversation forward, you want to book a meeting, you probably want to write a check. Maybe before you change your mind, we'll take it.
Make a transfer.
We'll have an HSBC account here, so don't worry about conversion. So it's a total solution that we have brought for you. So we're here, we're around the corner, talk to us, and we're ready to listen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Round of applause, please.